Hello and welcome to Rada Publishing House. I'm your host, Rada Nelia, and today we have a very special guest, Miss Sabine Messner. Welcome, Sabine.
Rada, beloved sister, thank you so much for having me.
You are one of the most talented beings I've ever met, and I would love for if you could just share a little bit about yourself right now.
Thank you so much. I am an artist at heart. I actually study visual communication. I have a master's in art. However, I chose to not go into the artist academia career because I really want to design um, lives and worlds and really step into our creator consciousness energies. And so I serve humanity by helping individuals really materialize and manifest their highest soul dream. These visions that perhaps come from the past, they can come from the future. They totally seem, unattainable in the beginning, but that's exactly how we are bringing in our highest futures, our highest becoming. And in the process, it also unleashes such incredible soul fulfillment. So I'm using branding, soul purpose branding is my proprietary process as the methodology to bring people into the center of their visions and then watch it becoming real.
Wow, that's incredible. And you're using human design to sort of uh, it's almost like decode people's purpose and deeper into their past too, because it's almost like their past coming online, their gifts, all of that. Can you tell us just a little bit about
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Yes, so I've had decades of energy medicine training. I've apprenticed with shamans from the North Americas and the South Americas, Peru. I've been initiated into prophecy keeper rites back in the early 2000s. And so on the foundation of having a very, very well-developed multidimensional soul side, I then added human design and gene keys to it. And there's a big difference. If you just learn human design or gene keys, it's trending like crazy now, which is awesome. We're all into epigenetic evolution and self-discovery. However, I would say that when I interpret a person's epigenetic design, because of my multidimensional vernacular, I'm able to tap into their galactic essence. I'm able to really, really bring in a whole other sort of quality. And again, I love to bring that also into what they do in quote unquote for living, because ultimately the separation that keeps us in suffering has a lot to do that we're actually wasting our precious life force energy, our genius selves, by doing jobs that pay the bills but don't make us happy. And that's really kind of like the gap that I feel. And I see it reflected in my own human design. I was doing this already, long before I discovered human design. And then my human design really did, confirmed that I'm here to liberate people when it has to do with their life's work, really also liberating the wealth prosperity frequencies that are dormant. We have so much wealth coming to us. And so I call that soul purpose wealth.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I've had the great privilege of experiencing a human design, and I have to tell you guys, I think Sabine is one of the greatest human design experts in the world. And you went in for, I think it was like 2 hours, maybe a little more. And I mean, I was just trying to wrap my head around it. It was really prolific experience. It's quite life-changing. And yeah, I remember you were like, oh yeah, you have access to the Akashic records and all the time, and that's why that's connected to the work I do, being a visionary. And so yeah, you just unlock so much, and I really appreciate it when somebody really refines their skill, like you have really invested and refined your skill sets, and that it really helps people propel them forward, because when they have the support, when they understand themselves, they can understand their purpose. And that's really about coming back into their mission, right? Because our mission is all connected to our soul purpose. And that's what these books are about too. It's like awakening to our mission, awakening to our purpose. and realizing that it wasn't just a coincidence that we just all landed here at this time. There is something so much bigger unfolding. It's a cosmic unfolding, and we've all come for this very sacred time. Despite all of the chaos going on, there is a golden thread of sacredness running through, and we're all gravitating towards each other. And that brings me to your chapter. If you care to share a little bit about it or read just a little snippet, we'd love to know more.
Radha, thank you so much for your kind words. And, the greatness that I dare to, tap into and also share and contribute, to others, lies in everyone. And this is exactly that hero's journey. So in my chapter, which is called Navigating the Fourth Dimension, I really wanted to bring people into a very tangible, down-to-earth process. When we're talking about ascension, we're talking about, raising our frequencies and vibrations. What does that actually really mean? And so what I did is I took our very low vibrational environment and world, because we have, as a human species, for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, really been kept in a vibrational prison, if you so will, that is really below courage. It's constantly, it has to do with the war mongering and all of the fear. It's like we barely got out of survival. So we have developed an emotional spectrum that matches actually the shadow frequencies here. If you're using the scale of consciousness as a tool, there are other tools as well, but it's a very, very useful tool. Then we can see here fear at 100, courage at 200. And so we're basically essentially playing here in these shadow realms. And we need to get past courage into the higher frequencies, which also means that we will be developing completely different emotional chemistries, emotional relationship with others. We will develop joy, more the joy frequencies. We know everything about shame and blame and guilt and suffering. I mean, we have lots of
We're experts.
nuances there. We need to kind of really like a flower blossom into these higher frequencies. However, and this is also what human design and gene keys are showing us, that the shadow isn't just happening outside of us. We're not just sort of, non-participatory observers. We're actually an intricate kind of part of this up leveling, right? This eclipsing of the darkness. And the darkness is also, our shadow distortions that are inside of our own consciousness. So what better invitation, right? In the sacred time, these paradigm changing times, for us to sort of say, okay, let me go on a deep dive and let me see what kind of shadow distortions do I have inside of myself, and how can I eclipse them and anchor the light inside of myself. And the more people are doing that, for every one person that is at the vibration, let's say of 300, which is acceptance, it's coming into acceptance realm. What was the it's the vibrational equivalent, the 90,000 people. And for everyone who reaches the vibration of love, that person can outweigh, vibrationally speaking, to 750,000 people that are in suffering. So every one individual is actually so much more kind of instrumental, if that makes sense, than a lot of masses in the same vibrational lower frequencies. And I really wanted to sort of like showcase that in my chapter and invite people to go on this vibrational hero's journey of self-liberation, of remembrance, and bringing the greatness of our soul back online.
Thank you, Sabine. Your chapter, I have no words, because it's just epic, you guys. It's epic. It's poetry, but it's so encoded. when you read it, there's so many activations that are going to happen for you. I so appreciate how much, you put into that, and the message that you bring through it. It's complex, but you really broke it down to simplify it in a way that people can digest it. And I think that's very important. What you are just saying right now has really touched my heart too, because so many of us have been giving up, giving up certain lifestyles, like stepping away and going in and doing a lot of this shadow work and doing the work that's not glamorous. It's not glamorous at all. It is the work. And that's why star seeds, it's important for star seeds to remember who they are, because they also have those signatures. And so that's why also they need to travel too, even though they want to be in hermit mode all the time. Like traveling and being with others is important. Gathering, like you do your gatherings every year. And we affect the ley lines when we're driving across the countries. We're doing a lot of work that is very undercover, as far as, not like, it's very hard to even explain it, but we know that it's occurring. And it's beautiful to acknowledge this, because it's important for us to remember the importance of why we're here. And so I really honor you, Sabine, because you've brought that back. You're bringing that back to us. Like, it's so important that you're doing the work. It matters. It matters.
Every individual,
Yeah.
and I've really known this all of my life. I've never been into having a large following, and because I've always known that if I work with one person and I help one person to go from the carbon, the carbon humanity enslavement self to the crystalline diamond self, that one person is more of a legacy than having hundreds of thousands of followers. So truly, it's about individuation. And then what you were saying is so true. We are truly interconnected. So a person that's tapped in and turned on, driving on the freeway, touching the ground, now Gaia, our conscious Mother Earth, right, is picking up that vibration, and she is feeling the aliveness of her children. And we're saying, hey, Mama, we're doing great. Like, we're in this together, let's do this. And so this is how we're all rising our vibration together as a unified morphogenetic field with the plant kingdom, with the animal kingdom, with all of the kingdoms in inner earth, and our higher star brothers and star sisters. Yeah, so it becomes very cosmic, very mystic. But in my chapter, I try to really create a practical bridge that we can step on, so that we can be the arcs to this new paradigm. If you like, I can read the first section of the book chapter.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see here if I have it up here. Just a second. All right, here we are. Navigating the fourth dimension, the darkening of the light. Only in the darkness can you see the stars. Dr. Martin Luther King. Here we are at the edge of the world as we know it. Titans of old, thundering in the skies like tornado. The bedrock of thoroughly established reality is rumbling, crumbling, gushing open. Century-old belief systems are falling apart like rubble below our feet, pulverized into vanishing dust. 1,000 shades of grayish lies, like ghosts, engulfing millions of souls in smokescreen mirrors into infinity. Shiny spells casting civilizations into the ultimate disillusion of all illusions. As if we hadn't had enough. But no, there's more Kool-Aid to drink from this grand unleashing fire hose. Every day, like clockwork, another globally orchestrated agenda swarm is released. More bad news, more white noise, and plenty of nonsense to make everyone dizzy. The failure of this system the collapse of that sector, the cataclysmic decline of that country, the destruction of that nation. Global communities get steered around from this side to that angle and back around, emerged into a collective soup of distraction, exhaustion, fear, and worry, the perfect recipe for one disaster compounding onto another. We've all been prepared for this all too familiar doomsday scenario. It's a strange, eerie relief, sweet surrender into the inevitable. Let this never-ending matrix nightmare we've all grown tired of finally be done in one big bang as it began. Algorithms come to the rescue, monitoring from all directions, medicating mental upsets and sanitizing our every thought with kindness. Artificial skynets measure every footprint. After all, we are the carbon humans, polluters, destroyers of this earth plane, which must be saved from ourselves. Quantum computers power the new metaverse, shuffling well-meaning people like herds into virtual safe havens. For your safety and security and the survival of our planet, let us imprint and imprison you so we can control your destiny and that of your children as we cultivate the optimal rainbow reproduction inside our virtual petri dishes. Nothing left untouched, nothing left sacred. Everything, every single living thing uploaded into zeros and ones, chipped, traced, tracked, and barcoded like animals trapped in breeding factories or zoos, like vegetables rounded up and robotized greenhouse farms and turned into patented GMO crops. Why would the greed that rules the world stop at our front doors? Notification sounds of hell turn into synthetic smelter fumes. Star seeds torched in the sight of unspeakable untruth, burning up in flames, incinerating infinite layers of separation and distortion. Excruciating torture. It is the AI inferno of the soul. Until that exquisite moment when it all becomes still and quiet, when we remember who we are and why we are here. As the earth crust is cracking from all the fracking, so is our shell of protection. Scorched a millionfold, we turn to titanium. Our core is untouchable. As the world is disintegrating, we are reintegrating. Star seeds, locked and loaded. Born from the ashes, we did not come here to go up in flames. We did not train for thousands of lifetimes to sell our soul, the most precious asset of all there is and will ever be, and by God, we did not come to buy into the same old stories. Oh no, we came to see and see it all the way through. First, we ache, then we arc. We receive revelations our loved ones can't conceive. Like vessels of love, we hold archetypal space for the rebirth of the crystalline humans. We originate from love, we come from source. We are the arcs, archetypal liberators, dancing with swirling timelines at the brink of the abyss. We are the arcs, chain breakers of enslavement, lifting bedrocks of fear and oppression. We are the arcs, ram bridges to the golden age, anchoring humanity's highest trajectory. We are the arcs, angelic, eternal torchbearers igniting each other's flames. We're coming home and we're coming in hot.
Beautiful. Yes, to coming home. You know, coming home is just so beautiful. Just wow. Epic. Prolific writing.
Well, it's the darkening of the night. It always gets the darkest before the dawn, and we are the dawn. And if we get caught up in that darkness, that temporary illusion, right, of separation, then we miss the boat.
Yeah.
Proverbially speaking, we miss the mark. And so I think this chapter is an incredibly encouraging one. It starts out intense, but as you read through it, it takes you through the fourth dimension. There's a lot of trickery in the fourth dimension. And then we're really coming into that fifth dimensional vibrational frequency. And that is New Earth. That is heaven on earth. that is really where we all, you know, are sort of like steering towards. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, yeah, epic journey that we're all on. And I want to just really bring everyone so much encouragement. Thank you so much for being part of the Awakening Star Seeds, and infinite gratitude to you, Radha, and your beloved mother, Maya, for giving us a platform, giving us the voice to bring these experiences and also these messages of true liberation and true hope to the mainstream and to everyone who's wakening up.
Thank you so much, Sabine.
Thank you so much, Sabine.
Everyone, the links are below. So thank you much. Love and blessing.
So thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.